Next up is Pico.Buzz. Pico.Buzz is enabling live event hosts like sports teams or entertainers to enhance the fan experience by building one-on-one relationships. Please welcome Matt Feinberg of Pico.Buzz.
Must be the money. If you wanna go and take a ride with me, willing in the fall with the goldies. Oh, why do I live this way? Must be the money.
All right, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Matt Feinberg, and I'm one of the partners at Pico.Buzz. At Pico, we help teams build one-on-one relationships with their fans, and we help turn fans into fanatics. So a few weeks ago, we were sitting down with the CEO of the St. Louis Blues, and he made a remark that stuck out to us. He pointed out that essentially, brands are relationships. Now, we all know that relationships begin and end with communication. So let's talk about fan communication for a second. If you were a sports team and you wanted to have a one-on-one conversation with your fans, you would typically reach out over phone or send them an email. But things like spam filters and voicemail, those are rendering those channels less and less effective every day. Today, if you want to have that same conversation with your fans, you need to meet them on the channels where they prefer, places like Facebook, Instagram, and Messenger. But these channels present a problem, and it has to do with volume. Let me explain. One of the teams that we're working with explained that they receive over 500 messages a day from their fans, and they have to purposefully ignore those messages because they don't have the tools to handle that volume. The digital director of another team we work with explained that she spends 1 to 2 hours after every game manually searching for and finding and connecting with fans that posted digitally and posted socially during the event. Neither of those are sustainable options. So let's dive in a bit further. What could all of these thousands of messages be about? Well, we've seen them, and they're about everything under the sun. But what if inside that huge volume of messages, there's something very important, like a fan who's trying to find their seat, or is looking for a ticket upgrade, or has an emergency? Teams can't afford to ignore these messages, but they do, because until now, they haven't had the tools to handle that volume and to address them properly. And it's a problem that doesn't just exist in the sporting world. Sporting events, festivals, theme parks, resorts, anywhere you have a critical mass of people gathering, this volume exists, and it's a problem for all of them. Now, it's not like they're not looking for a solution or that teams don't want to communicate with their fans. When we sat down with the vice president of marketing for the Bulls last week, she even pointed out that they would love to find a way to communicate with their fans every day, not just on game day, but the tools really weren't there. So it raises a very poignant and very simple question. How do you fix it? How do you communicate with your fans at scale on the channels they prefer while making sure that those conversations are still one-on-one and still feel personal? How do you do it? Well, that's where Pico.Buzz comes in. At Pico, we've built a SaaS platform that enables teams to communicate with their fans before, during, and after their events, regardless of if the fans are in stadium or at home. We've put together a platform that lets them leverage Facebook Messenger in a way that was not previously possible. Now, you can think of our platform as a command center with two main components. The first focuses on communication. We've built tools that allow teams and brands to manage the entire daily flow of social communication that comes across their radar. We give them the ability to open up conversations with their fans and then to continue the conversations. Now, once these channels are open, teams can take advantage of the second component of our platform, which is all about the money. Our tools not only open up new channels for sponsorship for teams, but help them manage those activations and also help drive revenue by letting them sell things like tickets and merchandise and concessions, all through Facebook Messenger, all from our easy-to-use platform. And the results are really great, but what makes us really unique, really unicorn unique, is that, well, for one, fans don't have to do anything different. There's no apps to download. They just use the platforms they already used. But for a tool like this to be really effective, you need to have 3 specific components, and we're the only company that has put these 3 together. First, you need to offer a way to initially engage with fans. Fun things like polls and quizzes that drive them to these channels to let them know that the teams are there to talk to them. But once you drive the fans to these channels, you need to provide the communication tools to keep the conversation going, to let the fans feel validated and recognized. But simply making these two processes more efficient and easier to use is not enough. You also need to deliver concrete results and drive revenue. And we're the first company to loop these three together, and we're the only ones to do so without the need for a special app for their fans. So how's it all work in the real world? Well, let's come back to the St. Louis Blues for a second. We began working with them back in March. And since that time, we've enabled them to open up over 3,500 individual conversations with their fans. Now, once these conversations were open, the Blues were able to send their fans clickable offers for things like playoff tickets or merchandise. And in an industry that typically sees an 11% click-through rate, the Blues tripled those results, and we delivered a nearly 30% click-through rate on these offers. It was the most successful digital channel they've ever used. They were so happy with the results, we're in talks and moving forward with a full season next year. We're really excited about that. Now, the Blues are a really good example of a team that would take advantage of our full season subscription, where they want to be able to talk to their fans game after game, week after week. But if you're a one-off event, like a corporate conference or a music festival, we offer a single event subscription as well, so we cover all of our bases as far as the markets are concerned. Now, our approach to the market is also two-pronged. First, we work directly with teams and brands to move quickly, but we're also partnering with channels like digital agencies that work with numerous teams and brands to allow us to scale our company into multiple markets. We began with the sports vertical, and we've seen tremendous success there. We're quickly expanding into venues, musical artists, theme parks, consumer brands, and bureaus of tourism, and we've seen success at every step along the way. Now, something you might not realize is that we're an Israeli-based company, and our three co-founders are here with us today. When we got started in Israel, we've seen tremendous success and have already signed all of the largest basketball, soccer teams and leagues in Israel, as well as working with some of the largest brands in the world like Samsung and Universal Music. We've even partnered with the largest sports broadcaster in Germany, Sport1, who wanted to build stronger relationships and saw that our tools were the way to get that done. But things really got interesting and exciting when we got to St. Louis about 3 months ago. In the past 90 days, we've already struck partnerships with the St. Louis Blues, the national champion St. Louis Surge, events like Mardi Gras, huge corporations like Maritz, and digital agencies like CPG. They've all seen the value in building stronger relationships and have recognized that the tools that Pico provides are the way to make that happen. Now, we're incredibly proud of our success, and I'd like to share with you a little bit about the team that's responsible for that success. We're made up of successful business people, experienced entrepreneurs, and very talented technologists who, to borrow a phrase from the sports world, we've got all of our bases covered, and we're really excited to continue to grow into the future. Now, we're equally excited to be supported by some of the biggest names in technology who agree with our vision, companies like Capital Innovators and Stadia Ventures right here in St. Louis. They agree that there's a need for this product and that we've built the solution, and they're joining us on our journey to be the platform that enables people to build one-on-one relationships. So if you'd like to learn more about what we're doing at Pico, if you'd like to strengthen one-on-one relationships, we'd love to speak with you after the presentations. Thank you very much to Capital Innovators for having us out here today, and thank you to all of you for joining us for the presentations. We appreciate it.